Hi, host Eric here of Talking with Famous People, and I want to talk today about agency and the ENTP. And the reason this topic has come to me as a topic that I ought to do is because of this very nice gentleman named Landry Horimbere. Landry or it could be Horimber? I'm not sure. Landry Horimber, who asked me a question about what my intentions were regarding the ENTP exists differently in time video. And I will, if I remember, put a link to that in this one. Um, he says, is this something you intended or at least expected that people would take your advice seriously? I think that's what he means. Um, or perhaps he just means, in reference to the first sentence, the video distills many thoughts I've been having recently that it would resonate with other people. That other people were musing along similar lines. I will. I can. I thought about that question for quite a while now after reading it. Um, did did I intend to expect either of those things? So I'm going to take three separate things here. One, the distillation of thoughts that other people are having as well. Two, the paralleling of the phenomenology of experience, which is to say, what you're talking about resonates with my own life experience. Okay, that thing. And three, the notion of somebody taking my advice seriously. Are these the things I intended or expected? Well, number one, to answer that question, I have to address time frame a little bit, and that's why I want to get into agency, which is I know I had a lot of trouble believing in my own agency for decades. I didn't believe I was capable of affecting any change in anything. And I didn't believe I was capable of accomplishing anything meaningful. And I had a lot of data to support that. It was one thing that the ENTP is not good at necessarily, or has to become good at. Let's put it that way. One thing the ENTP has to become good at is persistence in the absence of encouragement, because we are looking externally for data that confirms or rejects our notions of the value of a given thing. Like we might make something, and if people don't like it and say bad things about it, we're gonna think it's terrible. And if people do like it, we're gonna think, oh, this must be great or whatever. Like our initial gut thing on that is to be very. We're subject to the risks associated with our FE in the third slot. We're subject to ontological violence from others. Okay, we're subject to being basically oppressed for how we are, and we're subject to being told you talk too much. We're subject to being told I don't want to see another one of the things that you made. We're subject to being told all that shit. And that's because we are operating on a wider sphere of thinking in terms of our place in the world than are most other types. By wider, I don't mean necessarily better. I'm just saying we tend to think of things big picture, super big picture. Like, well, how's this thing I'm doing related to the singularity? That's something I think about sometimes. And I have my own definition of the singularity, of course, right? Or lack of definition of one or something. I don't know. But I don't want to get sidetracked. So, for most of my life, I just didn't really feel like anything was meaningful. I spent my whole time in school being tasked with fake stuff, because that's what school is. It's a bunch of fake tasks. Unlike debate, which is a sport. There's nothing fake about a sport. You both go try the hardest, better person wins. At the end, you hit the gyms. Hit the gym and take a shower or something. I don't know. I don't play sports, but that's what I hear you do. So But what I do is coach a competitive sport called debate, and the reason it's real is because the students have implicit motivation to do it. What I didn't have in school was motivation or a sense that I was working towards something meaningful. That's what I lacked the whole time I was in school, was a sense that I was working towards something meaningful. What am I doing and why am I doing it? Were questions I was plagued by but didn't understand were actual questions yet. It's like I just sort of felt um, rebellious and wanted to not be just that guy who fulfills all the roles that you're supposed to fulfill. And I mean, I went to this high school where you can quite fairly call it douchebag high. It, it was in the 1980s. It was full of people who went to the river and enjoyed date rape and stuff like that. You know, like douchebags, right? It was douchebag high. Anyway, I in that environment, I didn't suffer a great deal. I wasn't exactly bullied or anything. I mean, a little bit. There was a lot of bullying. I mean, the my community was rife with it, and pretty like a couple of my friends, um, you still hear it emerge from them sometimes in terms of a life narrative that resonates still with them. I would say that whatever bullying I endured doesn't resonate that actively with me at all, which is to say, it doesn't come up. Like I would never associate something to a bullying incident back in high school unless it was really, really specific and really, really related. But some of my friends are not quite as removed yet, even in their 40s. Because, of course, here's the thing. I don't think people understand it, is that the childhood narratives have a much greater amount of weight per minute than later times. So, in terms of your identity construction, which is fundamentally who are you? You are a bunch of words. First and foremost, you're a bunch of words, and you're a bunch of words that you say about who you are to yourself. Now, in practice, who you are is the organism that's talking at this rectangle right now. I mean, to the extent that here's the deal. To the extent that we wish to make meaning about existence and consciousness and presence in the world, we necessarily separate ourselves from the world as an entity with agency who's acting upon the world. So, as an agent myself, engaging in agency, the extent to which I believe I am capable of affecting change upon the world is going to be very much proportional to my so-called optimal functioning or mental health, basically. A fully healthy ENTP believes he can affect a lot of change upon the world. What this question, 8 minutes and 55 seconds in, finally get back to it, right? What this question prompted me to realize is that, first of all, when I started doing this thing, it wasn't for this. I wasn't expecting anything to engage with anybody. I was basically putting up philosophy talk videos as brainstorming for a book I wanted to write. It was a while. When was it? A year and several months ago. When I thought I was dying, one doctor told me I had emphysema, based on nothing. He told me this, based on bullshit. And so then, because he wanted to dissuade me from smoking, is what I think it was. Maybe he just wanted to smoke more. Anyway, he sent me to a lung specialist. I got a CAT scanner or some sort of thing they do with your chest. I don't remember which machine they use, but maybe just an X-ray. I don't know. I looked at that picture in the room with the lab tech, and I'm like, that looks clean to me. My lungs look fine. I don't see anything. It was that big red thing right there. I mean, the big white thing right there. Oh, that's your heart. Yeah, okay, that's what I thought. That's my heart, right? Yeah, okay, so that's not a tumor or anything. Anyway, I wanted to make sure I got my philosophy ideas out on tape before I died. So I started recording audio recordings, but I had a YouTube channel that I was very careful with. I was only going to put up just the perfect little thing, and then hopefully people would like it, and I'd share it on Facebook. Why? Because I fundamentally did not believe, could not even imagine a world in which YouTube would do what it purports to do, which is to say, if you're putting out videos, some of them are going to be better than others, and we're going to try to deduce which ones people like more, and we're going to recommend those ones. Well, it just so happened that I made a couple of. I mean, I've been interested in personality type stuff for a while, more or less, and I made some videos on that because I like the topic, and I started to think, I started making more videos that were a little bit more like addressing somebody rather than just me going like this. And so then no, but if it's not a truth carrying function, it was literally, I have videos up here that are like that, they're me doing that, okay, me thinking out my philosophy ideas on camera. So obviously, I had no expectation of anybody going to watch them particularly, and those ones I wouldn't share, but I'd have a couple like music videos. I was thinking like YouTube was really for music, and then I just started thinking, well, this is convenient. It's a convenient way to put stuff someplace. Well, when I made that Myers-Briggs video, one of them, the one that's my like hit or whatever. I mean, actually, I'm surprised I've got more videos that people seem to enjoy as well. I don't know what to say other than I am genuinely and literally shocked that um, it resonates with people, that people listening take my advice seriously. I don't know. That's all I have to say about it. I'm shocked. I know I didn't intend anything. I don't intend things. It just happens. Shit just happens. Thank you for commenting on my videos. I appreciate it.